So we just got the Switch 2 Direct, everybody. Switch 2 been really formally revealed now, and we got to see the system itself, and they talked about games for it. And going into the Direct, I definitely was very much expecting to want to buy this console at launch. Because it looked really cool, and with the whole Mario Kart thing, they teased Mario Kart early, so we knew that was coming. That still looks really good. We'll get to that in a minute, but I was very excited to see what other games might come out for the system. But here we are making a video instead, and did not expect to be making this one. But Nintendo laid an egg that really is just shit. But it's going to hatch anyways on June 5th. 2 months, people. 2 months. That does not seem like long enough. I feel like they are definitely shoving the release date of this console up because of the leaks and everything like that. I'm excited for it to be coming out in 2 months. I mean, that is crazy. Well, a little over 2 months. June 5th. So not quite 2 months, but pretty much 2 months. The problem is that one the games that are scheduled to be coming out at launch that we've seen so far, at least. What the fuck? What the fuck? We'll get. There's like no games. I'm not talking about it right now. Fuck it. There's no games. You got Mario Kart, which you already know. That looks amazing. The open world shit and 24 racers, and you keep racing in between courses now. That looks awesome. The game looks so good, and they were putting that out front and center at the very beginning of the direct. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get this. I gotta play this. This looks fucking awesome. But there's literally nothing new otherwise coming to the Switch 2 when it releases. This is going to be less. There's going to be less substance with this launch than the goddamn N64. And the N64 only had 2 fucking games at launch. They only announced like 4 actual new games. There was like the Mario Kart. There was a new Hyrule Warriors game that's coming out. Of course, it's a holiday title, though, so it's not going to be coming out for a few fucking months. After the Switch is already released. There's another game that I didn't give a shit about. It was a AAA title. It honestly looked pretty good, but I'm not going to get it. It doesn't come out till fucking 2026. What? And then, of course, the other game that enticed me other than the only other game in this whole fucking lineup that enticed me, other than Mario Kart, was the Donkey Kong Bonanza game that they didn't give a release date for at all. But it looked cool. It's definitely one that I think I'm going to eventually want to get and play when it comes out. It's on my list now, so that's cool. But other than that, guess what else was coming? In this whole hour-long direct, guess what other games they announced? Ports. There are so many ports coming to this system. It's not even funny. And just all these they're remaking a Kirby Air Ride from GameCube. They're remaking that. What a fucking stupid shit that's gonna be. Couldn't just given us a brand new fucking Kirby game. And then with all their other titles from the Switch, oh, guess what? They couldn't just do simple backwards compatibility. The cartridges, they look exactly the same, but that's just going to be too hard. So instead we're going to introduce expansion packs. Literally every fucking game that was on the Switch is now going to get DLC, and you're going to basically have to buy the game a second time. Probably for more. Just to get this. Why couldn't you just have simply made it backwards compatible? Was that really that hard to do? I guess it was. That pissed me off. And then, you got the whole thing about the fucking and then the thing about all of this, okay, let's talk about some specs here for a minute. Talk about the actual console itself. It looks virtually the same as the Switch, though there are some upgrades. The controller looks a little bit different. The buttons are bigger, which I think is a good improvement because those are the on the Joy-Cons, at least the Joy-Con 2s look really good. And there's voice chat now. It looked exactly like a Discord call, except you're playing Mario Kart while you're doing it. I don't know who in their right mind thought that this was going to be something cool. It does look cool, but anybody with a brain can see that there are going to be so many problems with this at launch. Oh, by the way, it's a Nintendo Switch Online exclusive. At least until end of March next year. Or starting end of March next year. I don't know how Nintendo's going to regulate this with like online lobbies or whatnot, where people are just going to be going in, playing Mario Kart, and saying fucking racial slurs like they do on Xbox. And I don't know how Nintendo's going to regulate that because they're trying to be so family friendly that I'm sure that they're going to have a system in place to mod this, but I don't think it's going to be very effective. And I think everything with like the C button, that activates it now, and kind of all that stuff. I think that is going to be the biggest source of the launch flaws with this console, because people are going to abuse that shit like crazy, and they're especially with Mario Kart, because Mario Kart's already a very infuriating game. Now you throw an online voice chat with all this, that's just going to screw everything up. And I think it's also going to be a source of technical problems, too. They're going to have this little fucking microphone. You would think they'd do, not even something like this. Like something, you would think they would just include maybe like a fucking headset like this, so you can just put it on, or something like this, just a little doggle thing to... No, it's like the Pixar lamp. It literally looks like the fucking Pixar lamp. He's going boing, da boing, da boing, da boing, da boing. Jump on the A button so that I can speed boost faster past a 2-year-old kid. And it doesn't even seem like it's going to be included. It's going to be an extra accessory. Yeah. That'll be a fun experiment to watch, at least when it comes out. Because I very intrigued to see how Nintendo is going to handle this sort of thing. But yeah, back to games. It's going to run 120 FPS now, it looks like, which is a significant upgrade, even though they literally showed like 10 FPS game output on the VCs. That got a huge laugh out of me that they even thought to show that. Good on them for being realistic. But also, holy crap. Who's going to want to buy that? Who's going to want to buy that after the free trial period ends? Who's going to want to watch that? Not me. Well, probably will be me, at least at the start, but... So yeah, that was great. But yeah, the higher specs. Guess all the games that are coming out. There's a random Elden Ring game. I think it was a remake. I don't know. But that's really fucking wild. Hogwarts Legacy is coming to the Switch. Fucking Cyberpunk 2077. There's literally no way in hell that this game, even how powerful the Switch is, there's no way in hell that it is going to run well on this fucking console, when goddamn good PCs can't even handle it. And there's like Madden now, and 2K's coming back. But again, it's all just ports. There's so many ports. Even like the first party shit's mostly ports. They're just porting over all of the Switch 1 games. They're remaking a Kirby game They're doing, it's the same shit. And you know why? Because Nintendo's looking to make a quick buck off of this. That's the whole point. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. The first year of this console's life cycle, at the very least, is going to be mostly ports, Mario Kart, this Donkey Kong game, and Hyrule Warriors, or third-party stuff. And that's just not a recipe for success. And you want to know how even more it's a cash grab? They're doing, obviously the VC stuff, that's an online membership exclusive. You got to pay $50 a year for that shit. I think maybe more. Oh, but they're adding GameCube stuff to the online thing. So now you can play Zelda Wind Waker on the 5th different console that's been fucking released on. And then now, again, that's all online exclusive. And then you gotta pay to play the same fucking games again when it should just be fucking backwards compatible. You gotta pay for that shit. Pay for fucking DLC for all these fucking games. And then you get to the actual prices of the console and the games themselves. Brace yourselves. The console at launch, $450. That's almost twice as much as the Switch cost at launch. That's $100 more than the deluxe set of the Wii U costs at launch. And people threw a huge fit when that price point got released. It's only slightly less expensive than a PS5 right now, which goes for about $600. And you're telling me that this console is going to be just as powerful as a PS5? Well, or maybe a little less powerful? I can run fucking Cyberpunk 2077? I ain't buying it. I ain't buying that shit. And then the games. Mario Kart 9. It's going to be $80. We're not going to 70 anymore. We're jumping straight to from 60 to 80. Thanks, Trump. That's the whole reason why. The Japanese version of these consoles and games cost, normal price. Things like 300 something bucks. And then there's things like 60 or 65 for games. But the tariffs. Because Trump just loves his homemade American products that don't work. So we gotta pay fucking more. And the international versions just cost just as much as the American version. Or even more. Like some places like $470, $460. Ours is $450. That's ridiculous. The console looks good, and there's a lot of cool new stuff that they're implementing here. But the game lineup looks terrible. Again, day one, what you could play on day one, from what we know now, is Mario Kart 9 and everything from the Switch. Maybe. You have to buy it, though. So whatever your bank account can handle. So really just Mario Kart 9. Is that really worth buying? We'll have to find out. They're really honing in on Mario Kart 9. That was about 20% of the Direct, whereas the other games were about a total 40% of the Direct, and then the console showcase was the other 40%. Yeah, and there's and then there's a fucking tech demo too. Astro's Playroom. Oh, but you gotta pay for that. It's not included. Sony was at least nice enough to include the tech demo in the console bundle when you bought the thing. I'm gonna say it now. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen. This console, the projection that it's going, is going to go the direction of the Wii U. Because sales will be strong at launch. All the Nintendo fanboys will buy it. I might buy it. I'm still undecided. Because and people that want to play the new Mario Kart are going to buy it. But with everything after that, for the most part, being ports for at least the next year, sales are going to tank. And they're not even like, it's just, and I think this whole thing about the Switch 1 edition and the Switch 2 edition, that's going to confuse so many people. Even new games that are still coming out are going to have this feature. Games from Breath of the Wild is going to have a Switch 2 version. What the fuck? This is bad. I don't. This console's future is very much in jeopardy, and yeah, it was not a good direct. Sorry to say it. I think a lot of people who watched it feel the same way. Oh, and the live stream crashed. So if you wanted to see that Final Fantasy game, tough luck. They froze the stream and then skipped right past it when they got it fixed. Good work, Nintendo. Good work promoting your fucking console and the 800 fucking ports that are going to be on it day one that are going to cost at least $30 just to play them again. When fucking every other console that you've had that has backwards compatibility doesn't do that. Thanks for also giving Sony and Microsoft ideas on how to make more money, as if they needed that. They also didn't mention amiibos at all. Probably because it wasn't necessary, but also, are amiibos dead? I hope not. But we'll have to find out. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on the Switch 2. What are your thoughts about it? You seen the direct, or what? You seen the points afterwards? I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you going to get it at launch? Should I get it at launch? And what more are you looking for from this game, from this console? Anyways, though, stay tuned for much more amazing content. Until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.